Hey guys, Kerry Knoll here, and thank you so much for tuning in today for Facebook Ad Fridays. I'm so happy to be here today and that you're here with me. If you are tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. Otherwise, I will go on with what I want to talk about a little bit today. So today I want to cover the differences between a Facebook ads account for your personal profile versus an ads account built within the business suite, or what they now call the Meta business suite. So let me share my screen and let's get started. Okay, so you're looking at my Facebook account and basically just at facebook.com. And if I were to wanting to get started with ads, of course, Facebook allows each individual profile to set up an ads account and get started boosting posts and or doing ads within the ads manager itself. And the way you would get there is under this block of menu dots here. You would click on it, come down to create and click on add. That's the easiest way to get there. And then what happens is it opens up a dialog inside of Ads Manager for you to create your very first ad. Now, if I want to, in the background here, it's going to also load up the actual ad account. You can see it loading up behind me. It shows my name with an account number behind it. It's got my profile pic on the left-hand side. So if I just cancel out of this, you can see it a little more clearly. Now, it's fine if you want to advertise from here. The negative to doing that is twofold. One is that you can't actually create custom audiences that with like an email list if you have an email list. So if I were to go here to all tools and then go to audiences, and once I get to audiences here, let me make sure it loads the right account. I can click on create audience. I can click on custom audience. And then if I want to click on customer list and click next, it says add your ad account to a business. So in order to create a customer list or a custom audience from a customer list, an email list, or what have you, you would need to add your ad account to a business by clicking this button here. So that's one of the drawbacks to just advertising straight away from your personal profile ad account in Facebook or Meta. So what I suggest you do is always do what Facebook really much wants you to do, which is create an account. So what we would do is we would head on over to business.facebook.com/create. And you can see here in the left-hand corner, it now has the Meta symbol. It's basically, this is how you would create and you can see here too, it says Meta Business Suite and Business Manager Overview. But if you land here and you already have a business, or if you do already have a few businesses established, it'll usually go straight away. Like if you don't use create here, it would then load up a page that shows me all the different businesses I already have that I can select usually. Now it's changed a bit again. Now it's showing Meta Business Suite up here. But that's because it hit the latest home and everything else. So if I go back to create and I want to create a brand new business account, all I would do is click on create account, give it a name. So this case, it might be, let me give it a name here. Let's go Kerry's backup, something like that. And then a business email account to establish this with. So I might use Kerry at kerryknoll.com. See if I can do this. I don't know if I'm at my limit. We'll find out. Crossing fingers. Unable to create account because I've reached the limited number of businesses you can have created at this time. Okay, so I can't demonstrate what the next step looks like for you. But the bottom line is once you do submit this information, it basically prompts you and then ends up taking you over to this screen here. Let me bring it up. I think they've changed it again. This is coming back here. So what I want to do is go to settings. And I like getting there just by going to business.facebook.com/settings. And then from there, I can see all the businesses I have access to or I want to take a peek at or use. And so if I wanted to get into one of my businesses, I can do that and click on Vegas Tech Group. And then from there, this is what would happen. This is the page that you should see eventually after you've created your business in Facebook itself. This is where you would end up. And the next thing you'll see is you'll see under people, it'll be highlighted first, just like this. It'll show you and it'll show the name of the business that you just gave it, right? Whatever business name it is, whether it was your own name, another business name, etc. Then from there, what you need to do is a couple things. First thing you want to do is actually create an ad account. So we'd click on add accounts, and then what we'd want to do is click on add, and then we want to click create a new ad account. And then here we would give it a name, whatever it might be, and you can always update this later, but you'd give it a name. You would choose your time zone, which should default to the time zone you're currently in. It should default also to the currency that makes most sense for you, but you can change it here. You would click next. It would basically give you one more prompt after this that says, is this account for you or for another business? And you would select for yourself or whatever it might be. It's pretty self-explanatory. You click next, and then it asks you for a payment method, which you can bypass, and then you end up right back here. Once you do that, you click on the actual ad account, or it'll already be added. You won't have any person under it. People will have to be added. So you would click on add people, then you would click on yourself, and you click on full control manage ad account, then click assign, and it should give you a green, well, no green check mark. One person has been added to the ad account Vegas Tech Group Backup. Then done. Then the next thing you need to do is go to data sources, expand that. You would need to create your first pixel for this particular business account. And then you would do the same thing. You would click on add, and it's going to prompt you to give it a name. It's going to fill it in with the business name by default, but you could change this to whatever you want it to be. And then you would skip over this, check your website for easy setup options. You don't need to do that. You would click continue. And in this case, I'm going to just create another pixel here that's test number 2. You can always rename these pixels, by the way. You cannot delete them, but you can rename them. And then from here, you would say your pixel isn't ready to use yet, so you can either continue managing your business or you can set up the pixel now. If you want to set up the pixel right away, you can do so. Just click on that. And then you would want to use this middle option that is manually add pixel code to website. So you'll click on that. It'll bring up another dialog that says install the base code on the website. So you'd have this here. Now it says meta pixel code instead of Facebook. You click on it, copy to clipboard. You could paste it into a document. You could then go over to your website and paste it into the header section of your website, or you could put it into, Google Tag Manager, or, if you were in ClickFunnels, you can go to settings and put it in the heading area box there as well. And then you want to just make sure turn on automatic advanced matching is on. So it's on by default. You can test the base code once you've installed it by putting your URL here and send test traffic. So that's an option as well. If you don't want to, you can skip all that and just hit continue. And then once you come here, it's basically says use Facebook's event setup tool recommended for setting up events, but this is not necessarily the recommended way, even though they suggest that. This essentially allows you to pick out different elements on your web page or web pages to assign events to, but you don't need to do that if you're just doing like leads or you're doing purchases, because you can just install a small little snippet of code on those next pages, the thank you pages, etc., that are only available to people who have taken a certain action, right? So if somebody opted into your sales funnel or website or opt-in page, the thank you page, or the next page they would see would be where that code would be added and executed. So from here, I would usually just click cancel. And now we have our new pixel, but we need to add people again. So we'll click add people, and we would add ourselves and then manage the pixel with full control. Click assign, done. And now the next thing we want to do, it's a little bit backwards, but you click on add assets, and then you select basically an ad account you want to add this pixel to. So you'd select the one that you just created. In this case, it's going to be my Vegas Tech Group Backup. Click add. Now it says one ad account has been added to the pixel test 2 pixel. Click done. And the next step in this process would be to add your domain. If you don't have any domains yet assigned to your business account, you click on brand safety, expand that, click on domains. I have a ton of different domains already assigned, but if I wanted to add a new one, I would just simply click add, and then I would go through the process of adding this domain in here. that I want to add, whichever domain that might be. So it might be something like I think I have kerryrecommends.com. And let me see if it's already been added. No, it has not. So it's not verified at this point. It tells you that in red right here, not verified. Now you have three different options to verify the domain. You can either add a meta tag to your HTML source code, you can upload an HTML file to your root directory, or you can update the DNS text record with your domain registrar. So this is the option I love to use most. It's the quickest and easiest for me and most, without dealing with FTP and trying to get into the website itself, specifically if it's not actually a website that's hosted somewhere that you have that kind of access to, specifically if you're using a page builder like ClickFunnels or something equivalent to that like Kartra, drawing blanks on all the different ones, Builderall, Lead Pages, System.io, etc. You would want to probably do and update the DNS text record. So what we do here, it says go to your domain registrar, log into your account, and find the DNS record section. It says step 2, follow the instructions to add this text record to your DNS configuration. So you just hover over that. It says copy to clipboard. You click on it. It's now copied to clipboard. Then it says use a DNS text lookup tool to confirm the record has been updated across the servers before clicking verify domain. Don't need to do that. So the next thing we need to do is head on over to our registrar. So I'm going to go to namecheap.com, which is where I have most of my domains. I'm going to log into that. And then, oops, let me get back in here. I guess tech group spelled backwards. Let's put that in there. Okay. Now that I'm in here, I'm going to go to my domain list. I'm just going to search for my domain to find it quickly. And then I'm going to go to manage. And then once that comes back, I'm going to click on advanced DNS. And then once advanced DNS loads up, I'm going to create this DNS text record. So right now we've got a couple records already. We already have a text record for this before because I added it once upon a time. I'm going to delete that record. I'm going to add a new one. So this is what the process would be. Click add new TXT record. You give the value of the @ symbol for the host, and then the value itself would be pasted in, which is what we just copied to clipboard. And then we'll change the time to live to 1 minute, make it short. Save changes. And now that is the newest domain verification record inside of our DNS. Usually with Namecheap, it does only take about a minute or so before it'll work. So we'll come back to business settings and crossing my fingers, click verify domain, and it's verified. And this is the process you would do over and over again for all the domains you want to add that you might possibly want to be advertising to within Facebook, right? So within Facebook, depending on what type of ads you want to run, which sites you want to advertise about or for or run traffic to, you'd want to add every domain that you have in here. And then once you're done with that, you're basically all set up on the business side of things. You don't have to do much else other than maybe perhaps adding your payment method still. So if you haven't done that, you can click on payment methods, add payment method, and then you're good to go. Once that happens and you're all set there, the next thing we want to do is actually configure this pixel with the domain. So we click on this hamburger menu that when you hover over says all tools. And then under shortcuts here, we should see Events Manager. If you don't, you will see it's listed here under Manage Business. It's also listed in this menu as well. So we'll click on Events Manager. And now we're going to find our new pixel, which is down here at the bottom, test 2 pixel. And this is what you're going to see typically is you're going to see a blank page. It says your pixel hasn't received any activity. Continue pixel setup. So you click on that. Then you click on this meta pixel. Used to say Facebook pixel. Click on it. It'll check it off. Connect. And then it says manually add pixel code to website. Install code manually. And now we have the base code again, and we can either copy code by clicking this, and you have to click that in order to continue. So we have that copied to the clipboard again, where we can now install it in our website or put it in Google Tag Manager, etc. So you can get this pixel code again here if you didn't get it in the first spot where I showed you back in the business settings. Click continue. We have automatic advanced matching on, so that's enabled, but we're also going to turn on a few other fields because the more data that we allow verify the customer information I want to be able to send back and forth to Facebook through the pixel code and such, the more the merrier, the more we're going to get better results. Click continue. And then we have add events using event setup tool. Again, we'll skip this. So we'll click continue. We don't have to actually verify domains. So we can basically skip this section here because we just did that. Then we can come here to configure web events. And when we click this, it's going to open another window. And that window is going to be allowing us to basically match up our pixel with events for our domain. So I do have several already configured, but the very first one I don't is listed here. Kerry recommends. It has configured event 0 of 8. If I expand that, it says manage events here. I'll click that button. It just tells me some information. I'll just click ahead, go ahead and click edit. Just basically says I need to wait 72 hours to make any edits to this if I do decide to change something. So then I'll click on add event. And the first event I want to set up is for this new pixel. So we'll do test pixel 2. And I don't see test pixel 2 in here, which is strange. I should have seen it, but we'll use test pixel instead for now. And then we would set this up with like lead. So I can type that in or look through the list. That's the lead event. I'm going to add another event. I'm going to use the same pixel. And then I'm going to choose purchase. And you may want to switch the priority, but you can easily enough by just dragging and dropping. And that's how you can change the order of precedence. And then I'm going to add one more for sure. I'm going to add, bottom line, I'm going to add view content. View content, and I'll explain why we're doing this in a minute. And then I click apply. Now I am interested to figure out why exactly my test 2 pixel is not available in here. I am going to try something here real quick. I'm going to cancel this, confirm, and then I'm going to go to my pixel here, grab the code, come back to Event Manager. I want to search and see if I can find it. And it did not. So there's something amiss about that. I think it has to do with, let me go back to settings. And I think it's going to be something, let me just double check something here. Add asset, there's nothing there, it's just pages. And we don't need to assign partners domain access. We don't need to worry about that. It's already connected. There should be no reason for that not to show up there. So I'm not quite certain what's preventing it from coming in here, but I don't see it. See every other pixel, even the original test pixel I set. Well, we'll just go forward with this so we can get it configured. So I'm just going to click apply. Yes, confirm changes, apply. And now we've configured this particular domain for those 3 events, and it's ready to rock and roll. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go back to my pixel. I'm going to reload this page, see if anything changed. I don't think much has changed because we don't have any pixel data. And I'm going to go to settings. And then under settings, we have conversion API, track events automatically without code. So this is basically Facebook or Meta's version of the Pixel that's actually API instead, which stands for Application Programming Interface, which allows essentially server-to-server communication rather than the cookie in the browser type deal. And so this allows Facebook and Meta to essentially track users' behaviors on different websites based on this conversions API rather than the actual Facebook pixel code, so that if those folks are on iOS 14 plus devices, they may have opted out manually or maybe automatically based on how Apple's handling things. And so you would be able to track them still using the conversion API. And this is how we work around basically tracking events, web events, and et cetera, that we want to track with our ads so that Facebook can get smarter and deliver us better results. So what we do is we want to make sure this is on. So we turn it on. Then we come down here and we have set up manually. And bottom line is we have this opportunity to generate an access token. So we click on that link. It's going to bring back a long string of characters. You can click on it to copy it to clipboard. And then if you're like going to configure this with a website builder such as ClickFunnels, ClickFunnels has the ability to integrate with your Facebook account through the conversion API. Not all page builders or websites functionality have the capabilities yet of connecting via the conversion API. So you will have to check with whatever provider you're using to see if the conversion API is available for you to connect to. If it is, great. If it isn't, unfortunately, you'll just have to rely on the Meta or the Facebook Pixel instead for now until that particular business does adapt and allow the conversion API to be connected. So the way I would do that is I would then end up going over to ClickFunnels. I would end up going to integrations, adding the Facebook integration, and then, of course, walking through the prompts and then submitting the information and pasting this in where it asks for it in order to connect over to it so we could use it. So that's an advanced training that I'll do another day probably, but this is how and where you get it from. So we just want to make sure it's on and we have generated the token. So that's available to us, okay? And then we come back to overview and we still see nothing here because we don't have any data on this pixel yet. Once we do, this will change. It'll look a little something like this one, or this test pixel, I think, has a little data. So this is what you're going to see if you have any data already on your pixel. And then if you want to change any of your events, you can then always click on aggregated event measurement here where it says new. Click on configure web events. It opens up another browser window, which is the events manager for web event configurations again. So it brings you back to this page where you could then edit the events if you wanted to. If you wanted to add events or remove events or change the pixel or what have you, you could do it here. Okay, so that pretty much is it. That's pretty much how to set it all up. The only other thing I wanted to show you was if you're inside of your business settings and you want to get to the ads manager, you can click on the all tools hamburger menu, click on ads manager. It's going to go directly to your ads manager. And I believe it's going to default to the previous one you were in before, if you are the one that you are coming from with the business manager. But if you do see this, all the business accounts are listed on the top, then it'll say see more ad accounts. And then below that, you'll see your personal account below. If you have a personal account, which everybody should have, it should be in your name, under your name, and that would be your personal account. Just to distinguish the difference, they'll be separated that way. So that's why it's a good idea not to name your business your name, because then you will see two of your name ad accounts, and you'll be confused at which is which. The nice thing is when you do set up a business ad account, typically you just see the icon on the left of the business. Even if this was my name, it would probably be a different color with the letter K in it. It would not have my profile pic, because again, if I switch accounts and I go to my personal Facebook ad account, it's going to then show me my profile pic here on the left as soon as it loads. There it is. So that's how I know I'm in my personal. And then if I want to go back to my business, I click add more accounts, go back to one of my business ones. And of course, I just get the little letter icon on the left-hand side. And that kind of identifies or distinguishes the differences. Specifically, if you were using your own name for your business account and your personal account. And it was exactly the same. So try to avoid doing that for confusion's sake and just keep it simple. But that's all there is that you need to know about how to do that. So anyway, that covers it. I don't want to keep you here any longer than I have to. If you like this, let me know. If you find it helpful, let me know. I'm going to continue on with a series of these types of hopefully shorter trainings on how to use Facebook ads in the future. So if you, again, if you like it, head on over to kerry'syoutube.com, which takes you over to my YouTube channel. If you're not already there watching, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll be putting these out each Friday for Facebook Ad Fridays. And join me again Monday for Social Media Mondays. And on Tuesday, we're going to be doing Sales Funnel Tuesdays. And then on Thursdays, we're going to be doing Email Marketing Thursday. So yesterday, I did an Email Marketing Thursday. So you can check that out if you haven't seen it yet. You can also check out the first of the other two, which was also Social Media Monday. And then on Tuesday, the Sales Funnel Tuesday. So this is my fourth video. I've started this week, so you haven't missed much if you haven't seen those yet. Yeah, you should take a peek at them and see what they're about, and maybe they'll help you out with your some of the stuff you're doing in your business. Okay, that was quite long-winded, but thanks so much for tuning in today. I appreciate it. I've got more great stuff on the horizon for you. So again, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. I'll see you guys Monday. Take care.